Alrighty, well, we are back with another tier list video. Now, I honestly enjoyed the trap one. If you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out because I don't know. I feel like a lot of people will be like, oh, oh, what's going on? I have a very heavy opinion on the game, and I love like different stuff. So now we're back. We're gonna do we're probably gonna do hit a lot of people when it comes to abilities because I honestly I have really different opinions of like abilities and like the reason why I use them and all that, how useful they are. So yeah, but let's jump right into it. So if you don't know what these are, abilities, these are every ability that each hero can have. So yeah, but yeah, start off with Bull Rush. Now I used to love Bull Rush because I could just destroy buildings after buildings, but I don't use it otherwise. Like I mean, like I guess smashing or hitting a mini boss off the map is good, but otherwise I just don't see myself using it that often. So I think it's like C tier. I mean, I guess hitting enemies and maybe killing them are decently good, but you can also stop. Oh yeah, you can also stop a smasher from smashing or a smasher from charging. So I guess it honestly, I think B tier. I think it deserves that B tier. I don't think it's A tier because I can't use it against like a crazy amount of husk, unlike some abilities where I can. But I do believe it's in B. Next up, Crescent Kick. Now I feel like a lot of people give the Crescent Kick like a hard time. I do believe it is good for what it is, and I like the idea when it comes to ninjas. I mean, maybe it could be better, but yeah, I think this is probably like D tier. I don't use it that often. When I do, it's usually to get a husk off my back, or to get off like in front of me. I just don't like it. So yeah. Next up, we got Decoy. Now, Decoy, I feel like it could use in like most situations. You can stop husks, you can confuse them, you can jump on it if you're stuck in like a hole. I definitely think it's useful. I think it belongs to Bull Rush. Definitely a useful ability, but it's definitely not like an ability that does damage or you can kill anything with. So definitely belongs there. Next up, we got Dragon Slash. Now, I actually never used Dragon Slash up until like a few months ago, when I started using Dragon Scorch and realized how good it was. And currently, I love it. I love the loadout. I love using it during ventures. It's a great, like the great loadout that I have, and I think it's a great ability. So I think it deserves an S spot. It does a lot of damage. You can have a trail that comes behind it and finish off enemies. It's definitely a good trap, or good ability. But yeah, moving on, we got grenades. I have a heavy opinion on grenades, and I feel like a lot of people would hate me for this, but I just don't like grenades. I think they're good for reloading if you have Chaos Agent in your loadout, but otherwise, the ability itself has high damage. You can throw it, but I don't see myself using it that often. But it definitely does have good amount of damage, so I think it belongs in B tier. Definitely good. Minigun. Oh, I love I feel like this is most anticipated. If you think you know where this is gonna go, let me know down in the comments because I feel like most people know where this is about to go. This is definitely an S tier ability. Minigun, you can have a 5-second minigun cooldown. You can have a minigun with energy on it. You can have a minigun with snowballs shooting out of it. It's overall a great loadout and great ability that you can use throughout different loadouts and different missions, stuff like that. So great ability. I love it. Next up, oh, this one, most people don't like going Constructor for some reason. I honestly love it. I think the damage is there. You can cancel it when you need to. The shield is decently good whenever you're getting blasted by a blaster, or getting shot at. Like, it's not a bad ability. Now, I don't think it's the greatest. I don't think it belongs S tier or A tier, but I do believe it can hold its own weight, and it's definitely decently good. So that's why I'm going to put it B tier. I definitely do think grenades and abilities like these where you could do some damage or it has some impact on, the game, definitely deserves that spot right there. Next up, we got Kunai. Kunai is probably one of my favorites, if not like all around just used. I love Kunai. I like the idea around it when links, you Kunai with links, you're doing a lot more damage. Definitely useful in MSK. There's different loadouts that you can use. It's definitely all around. Now, I don't think it belongs S tier just because you can't really use it that often. And, it's not like the greatest, but I do believe it belongs in A tier just because of what heroes can do. Is like if you have a proper hero that you're using, it definitely can have an impact on what you're doing. But the ability itself, it's not the greatest. But I like Kunai. You can get yourself out of tough situations. If you're getting attacked by husks, like 50 husks around you, you can just Kunai out of it, do a little damage, and then reset and then go kill them. So definitely belongs in A tier. Next up, we got the dual pistols. Now, I don't remember what these are called. I don't know why, but I just remember them as dual pistols because I don't really use them that often. So, yeah. I don't think these are S tier just because there's no really, great way to use them. I mean, yes, one venture season of one out of, the venture seasons that we get once, every 2 years or just about, once a year, something, whatever it is, it's decently good. But otherwise, I mean, it is good in dungeons. It's a good ability to have, but I don't think it's S tier. I don't use it that often. I don't think running it in regular missions is it. The ability is just not there, but it's definitely A tier. I think it belongs in A tier. It's definitely good. Can be used in certain situations, and yeah. Next up, we got Phase Shift. I'm not a big Outlander fan, so I'm gonna be a little rough when it comes to Outlander abilities. Phase Shift is, the only reason I'd use it is to get around the map. Otherwise the recharge is kind of annoying. You have to wait 3 seconds, and if you use all 3 at once, you have to wait a total of 9 seconds to get all of them back, and it's not fun. I think it's only really used good for movement. You can also have stuff that affects the abilities, like every phase shift you do more damage or something like that. I don't think it belongs C tier. I do think it belongs B tier though, because it's definitely good. It's definitely useful getting around the map, but otherwise that's pretty much it. Next up, we got Plasma Pulse. Now, honestly, this I feel like this has a rough, a hard time too. I don't think it's used as often as it should be, but it's because it doesn't do that much damage. I think it's C tier. Definitely, I'll use it maybe if I have it, but I don't use it that often, and it definitely is not something that I want or seek out to have in my loadouts at all times. So yeah. Next up, we got the Rosie. Rosie, I know currently the Rosie, I don't know. I honestly think the Rosie is fine where it's at, but I know people wanted a little more buff. You take a lot of damage. It's very bulky. You can't use it. The recharge sucks. There's a lot of reasons why it shouldn't be up there, but I think for what it is and the idea and the ability itself, it's decently good, and most constructors have it. It's definitely an ability that is used. It's definitely not A tier or S tier, but I definitely think it's up here where you can use it to the extent of killing some enemies, clearing out builds. It's definitely useful. But yeah. Next up, we got honestly, what's it called? I honestly don't remember all abilities by its exact names, but I know it's a Seismic Smash. Seismic Smash. There we go. Yeah. I don't use this too often, to be honest. I know it's decently good, but it's just not there. I just don't think I would want it in a load. I guess it's okay, but damage wise, it's just not there. So I think it belongs in C tier. It's almost like a Crescent Kick. I would kind of put it down here, but I do use it so every once in a while, so it doesn't belong down there. Moving on, we got the Shock Tower. Shock Tower is definitely good. I think it belongs A tier. It's kind of like Kunai. You can use it, get some damage on enemies, get them back up, stuff like that. So it definitely belongs there. Next up, we got the Shockwave. Shockwave, clearing enemies with this is okay, but otherwise, I think damage-wise, it's eh. So that's why I'm not gonna put it in A tier, but I definitely use it every once in a while. So I think it belongs C tier. A high C though. I think it belongs a high C. The only reason why I wouldn't put B is because I feel like I just don't use it that much, and unless if I have it, I'll use it, if that makes sense. But yeah. Next up, we got Smoke Bomb. Smoke Bomb, definitely A tier. You can, there's different ways to use this. And there's definitely, actually, I think B tier, because it doesn't do crazy amount of damage, but it definitely can heal you. There's different abilities that can, or different heroes that affect it. So, but itself is just not that great. But I know, a Smoke Bomb isn't that bad. So yeah. Next up, we got Teddy. Teddy, I personally don't believe it's S tier. I think it's A tier because it definitely is good up until end game, where you can't use it because the husk are so powerful and so like bulky. So that's why it doesn't belong S tier. So yeah, A tier it is. Definitely good ability to have and use. It's fun to use too. Practically aimbot with you know, the game AI just shooting the husks. So yeah, throwing stars. Not a big fan of throwing stars. I actually think these are like down with Crescent Kicks. The only reason why I won't put it next to it is because you can finish an enemy off, and you can do kind of a decent amount of damage with this, and I use it every once in a while, so not that bad. Warcry, I honestly don't use Warcry that often. I just don't see myself using it. The only time I use it, I think, is with my shotgun loadout. Otherwise, I don't use it that often. Now, it's not a bad ability itself. Definitely useful in a lot of situations, but I do not think it's S tier. It's kind of like a high B in my opinion. I just don't see it being A tier because it doesn't do, like, it gives you that damage bonus, yes, and it does it with your teammates, but I mean, ability itself, some do damage, some don't. So I mean, if it did damage, if, like, you know, the husk around you, like, they get stunned for a second, I feel like there might be like a hero that does that or something, but I don't know. Ability itself, definitely high B. Maybe A, but I think a high B is where it fits in. But yeah, this is my rank for abilities. I know you probably are thinking, you know, oh, come on. Well, you know, honestly, these are all opinion based. I definitely do think, I don't think any abilities are F tier. And the only reason why I think this is just because all abilities are kind of useful in a certain way, depending on like what loadouts you use and how heroes affect it. So that's why I don't even know why there's an F tier in my opinion, but F tier is like, you know, you can't use it. It sucks. No one's going to ever use it. But, yeah, I think Crescent Kick is fine where it's at and D tier. But yeah, yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any, you know, opinions towards what I believe, let me know down in the comments, because I know I have different opinions against everyone else, and I know my you know, my thoughts of, you know, different things are very heavy. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in a different video.